You've decluttered, you've experienced that amazing sense of freedom, but now what? How do you stop the stuff, the emotional baggage, and even the mental clutter from creeping back into your life? Today, we're diving into exactly how to sustain minimalism for the long haul. If you've been wondering how to keep the magic of minimalism alive, then this episode is for you. But before we jump in, if you're new, welcome. If you're regular, then welcome back to Aging with Grace and Style, where we celebrate the journey of growing older with confidence, grace, and a touch of sass. I'm Valerie Hatcher, and I'm excited for you to join our community of fabulous women as we navigate the joys and challenges of life after 50. So grab your favorite beverage. I've got mine. Sit back and let's get started. So we're picking up right where we left off in our August 6th minimalism episode. Now, if you haven't heard it, make sure that you check it out. We talked about the life-changing magic of letting go, but I've heard from so many of you, how do I keep this going? Well, today I'm answering that question. I'm diving into practical tips, mindset shifts, and even some listener stories on how to sustain minimalism long term. So let's explore how to keep that minimalist mindset alive, not just for a few weeks or months, but for life. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Valerie, I decluttered my home, but somehow the stuff keeps creeping back in. Or I started strong, but I'm finding it hard to stay motivated. Don't worry, you're not alone. Sustaining minimalism can be challenging, especially in a world that constantly encourages us to consume more. Some common hurdles that we face include the temptation of sales and good deals. We've all been there. You see something on sale and you think, I might need this someday. But remember, a good deal on something that you don't need is still clutter. Here's a tip. Before buying, pause and ask yourself, would I still want this if it were full price? If the answer is no, then it's likely an impulse buy. Implementing a 24-hour waiting period before making a purchase can help curb that temptation. Then there's gifts from well-meaning friends and family. It's always great to receive gifts, but sometimes they don't align with our minimalist goals. So here's how I navigate this. First, you receive the gift with, of course, grace and gratitude. But remember, the value is in the thought behind the gift, not the item itself. It's okay to donate or to re-give something if it doesn't serve you. You can still honor the giver's intent without holding on to unnecessary items. Then there's, this one gets me, sentimental items that are just really hard to part with. Sentimental things like old photos, your grown children's artwork, or heirlooms, they're tough. One way to honor these items without keeping every single one is to take photos or to create a digital archive. You can also choose a few meaningful items to display and let go of the rest. Then, listen to this, the just in case mentality. Now, how often have you kept something just in case you might need it one day? Here's how I tackle this one. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I didn't have this? Often the answer is that you can borrow the item, buy it later if you absolutely need it, or just live without it. Trust that you have what you need for your life as it is right now, not for a hypothetical future scenario. The key to long-term minimalism is making it part of your everyday life. So let's talk about some habits and routines that will help you maintain your minimalist mindset. The one in, one out rule. That's for every item that you bring into the house, remove one. That keeps your space balanced and it prevents accumulation. I really try to adhere to this, especially when it comes to clothes and shoes. I sometimes fall off the wagon, but I try to get back on. Then there's the daily 5-minute declutter. And that's spend just 5 minutes each day tidying up and putting things back in their place. Small, consistent efforts will prevent clutter from building up. I've gotten at least pretty good with this since our remodel. I just love my kitchen and my downstairs so much that I refuse to clutter. Now, this month with a lot of travel, it's been crazy and I've had my moments, but I quickly readjust. And then there's regular reassessment. Set a reminder, I don't know, maybe every few months. So you could do it quarterly if you have that time, or maybe every 6 to 12 months to go through your belongings and to reassess what you truly need and what you use. And then there's mindful shopping. Before making a purchase, ask yourself, do I really need this? Will it add value to my life? Again, a 24-hour cooling off period before buying can also help avoid impulse buys. I know this might be easier said than done because you're thinking, but if I wait, it might not be there when I need it. Well, that might mean that you don't need it. Sustaining minimalism isn't just about decluttering physical items. It's also a mindset. And here are some mindset shifts to help you live minimally. 1, focus on experiences over possessions. Invest in experiences that create lasting memories rather than accumulating more things. The funny thing is, on our recent vacation with our friends, we were sitting around and we were having this conversation about how at this stage in life, our trips and things that we do should be more about experiences. Number 2, redefine success and happiness. True happiness comes from relationships and personal growth and purpose, not material things. Remind yourself that you are enough as you are, and your worth is not tied to the things that you own. And then there's embracing imperfection. Minimalism doesn't mean that your life has to be perfectly organized. It's okay to have moments where things feel a bit cluttered. I told you I've had that this month, a time or 2 or 3. The goal is progress, not perfection. And each day is a new opportunity to realign with minimalist goals. Now, one of the biggest shifts that I've made is realizing that minimalism isn't a one-time project. It's a lifestyle. It's about being intentional in every part of your life, not just your home. That means simplifying your relationships, your commitments, and even your health habits. For example, I've started applying minimalism to my schedule. I ask myself, is this commitment really serving me? If it's not, trust me, I don't hesitate to let it go. And I found that by saying no to things that don't align with my goals, I have more time and energy for what truly matters. And trust me, I have a lot on my plate, so I don't have time to do things that I don't want to do. And I'm sure it's the same for you. Now, I love hearing from all of you about how minimalism has impacted your life. So here are some listener stories that I think will inspire you. So there is Susan from Florida. So Susan shares how she maintains a minimalist wardrobe by using a capsule system. She says she limits her wardrobe to about 30 pieces per season, and it makes getting dressed every day so much easier. And I was thinking, I need to take this and try this from Susan because my wardrobe has far more than 30 pieces, but it's stuff that I don't wear often, if at all, because I work from home the majority of the time. Then there's John from Oregon. Yes, we do have male listeners and viewers, and that makes me so happy. So, John talks about his 1 in, 2 out rule for books. So, John loves reading, but he says this rule helps him to keep his collection curated and meaningful. And then there's Maria from Texas. She explains how she and her husband have embraced minimalism in retirement. They're focusing on experiences rather than possessions. As we age, our needs change, and so should our approach to minimalism. Maybe you're downsizing, or perhaps grandchildren are coming to visit more often. So here's how to adapt. Regular reassessments. As your life changes, reassess your needs and adjust your minimalist practices accordingly. Flexible spaces. Create multi-purpose areas in your home that can adapt to different needs. Quality over quantity. Invest in fewer, high-quality items that serve you better. And then digital minimalism. Don't forget to clean out your digital life regularly. This is another one of my do as I say, not as I do things, because I am horrible with this. Every day I think, you know what? I really need to be better, and I'm going to get better. We're going to do this part together. So let's quickly recap what we've covered today. Sustaining minimalism starts with recognizing the common hurdles, from sales temptations to sentimental items, and having strategies in place to overcome them. Build daily habits like the 1 in, 1 out rule to keep minimalism sustainable. Be mindful of emotional triggers and mindful consumption to avoid recluttering. Minimalism is a lifestyle. It's about being intentional in all areas of your life. As we wrap up, remember, minimalism is a journey. It's not a destination. It's about finding what works for you and making room for the things that truly matter, whether that's peace of mind, meaningful relationships, or simply more space just to breathe. I encourage you to take a small step this week, whether it's applying the 1 in, 1 out rule or taking a mindful pause before your next purchase. Little by little, those small changes will make a big difference. I'd love to hear how you're sustaining minimalism in your life. What's working for you? And what challenges have you faced? Feel free to drop a comment below. Or, as always, you can leave me a voice message at pod.agingwithgraceandstyle.com. We're all in this together, supporting one another along the way. So thank you so much for joining me today on Aging with Grace and Style. If you found this episode helpful, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend who could benefit from some minimalist inspiration. Until next time, keep living with grace, style, and just the right amount of stuff.